reopening of sectors under lockdown. For safe lifting of restrictions, the National Task Force usually considers a number of factors such as risk of transmission in that sector, vulnerability of individuals and overall economic impact, and overall economic impact. This is further guided by the following: scientific evidence-based approach for safe and sustainable reopening in a phased manner. Number two, enforcement of SOPs by the sector in line with the COVID-19 statutory instrument. Number three, increased awareness by the sector of the risks and adherence to SOPs. I'm aware of the limitations of the current Public Health Act. Cabinet will fast-track its amendment to facilitate the enforcement of SOPs and include, among others, the on-spot and court fines of those who fail to adhere to SOPs. So in the new proposed law, first, the punishments will be stronger, but also the method of administering the punishments will change. You can be fined on the spot. In this regard, the National Task Force has reviewed the sectors that were pending lifting of restrictions, and I now direct as follows. A, places of worship. The places of worship can now open under the following conditions. Number one, limit the number of worshippers at any one time to not more than 200, provided the place of worship can ensure physical distancing of 2 meters on either side, adequate air. Two, there must be strict adherence to all SOPs at all times, i.e. hand washing, use of alcohol-based sanitizer. Now, and please don't waste my time, because I heard that some people don't want to hear the word alcohol. That when you are religious, when you hear alcohol, I don't know what happens. I am a teetotaler. I don't drink alcohol. But alcohol for when we were in the schools at Ntare, there was something called methylated spirit. What was that methylated spirit for? For sanitizing or for what? Methylated spirit. At Ntare, long ago. What was it for? For lighting or for cleaning or what? Huh? For lighting. Oh, so that is the spirit. And ethanol, we are using it in vehicles. Ethanol, we use ethanol in vehicles. So please stop. In Onyankoro we call it obhave to get lost in things which are not. Alcohol can be used positively. After the alcohol is used, wine is used for communion. So here we are talking of alcohol-based sanitizers, because that alcohol kills virus, kills bacteria. It is a cleaner. So when we say SOPs, alcohol-based, please don't mix it up and say that it is religion and so on. Temperature monitoring and consistent wearing of face masks by all congregants, including the choir and the preachers. All of them must put on masks. The preacher and the choir. Here I'm not using the mask because I'm very far from all these people. And there are very few people around. That's why I'm not putting in the mask. No congregation for worship after curfew hours. No night worship. The 200 persons limit, physical distancing, and all other SOPs should be respected even during special occasions, e.g. weddings, funeral services, confirmation time for confirmation. Then partner with the government to communicate and mobilize the population for vaccination and other control measures. Weddings, burials, and other social events. The number of persons attending these events can now increase to 200 under strict observance of SOPs. Casinos, gaming, betting shops, and gyms. The casinos, gaming, betting shops, and gyms can now operate during the day and close by 6 p.m. The various local governments, cities, and Kampala Capital City Authority, working with the National Gaming and Lottery Board, must inspect the various betting outlets for suitability and adherence to SOPs before opening. Concerts, disco halls, performing artists, and beaches. These tend to congregate large numbers and are difficult to control. With the level of vaccination still low, I direct that this remains closed until at least the 4.8 million priority population is vaccinated. And as you saw, we are targeting end of December to have vaccinated, to have used the 12 million vaccines, which as we saw, would have vaccinated 6 million people, 6 million people, without including the 600,000 that are already vaccinated or on the way being vaccinated. So by the end of December, I think we should have covered about 7 million people. We who are already vaccinated, the 6 million who will be vaccinated with these 12 million vaccines, the Johnson & Johnson 1.2 million, that one Keta is 111, then the remaining 10, they cover 5 million, 2, plus the ones already vaccinated. So that once we vaccinate the 4.8 million, then the concerts can start. Bars are high-risk areas where individuals have no sobriety to observe the SOPs. Because the Wanyankole say, wabuzo muri so Ruiko. Ruiko is the stick which the Wanyankole used to mingle millet, the one with the flat end, and Ruiko. Now, if you ask a herdsman, the one who was looking after cows in the bush, where is the Ruiko? He was not in the house. He doesn't know where the Ruiko is. So you cannot go to a bar and you expect soberness. That I went to a bar and I found people were sober. They were social distancing and they were putting on masks. The bar is opposite of sobriety, because even walking is a problem. The Wanyankore call it Okwaruza. You find somebody talking alone. So the bars, because of that problem, they will be considered for reopening when the 4.8 million priority population is vaccinated. The same. End of December, when we have vaccinated the 6 or so million people, then we can then they can go, even if they are staggering in the and maybe we should vaccinate those barmaids, and all those should be part of these priorities. Cinema and Vanda, this should remain closed, as the local cinema halls are areas of immense crowding and mostly have poor aeration and are designed to have artificial ventilation systems. That's why here I don't have any air conditioning. I don't allow any air conditioning. Because in Europe, it was found that air conditioning is the one which was circulating the virus. Curfew. Restriction of movement of persons at the night time is key to the enforcement of other preventive health measures. Curfew remains at 7 p.m. up to 5:30 a.m. But the borders should always stop movement by 6 p.m. Weekly markets, Komera, Obtare, these are open door settings, and current transmission rates are low in some areas. These can be opened with strict adherence to SOPs and the curfew hours, except for current hotspot districts: Soroti, Kampala, Karungu, Kabare, Kumi, Tororo, Guru, Noya, and Yumbe. So in other words, the weekly markets can open in other areas, and they observe the social distancing, the masks, in all the other areas except in Soroti, Kampala, Kalungu, Kabare, Kumi, Tororo, Guru, Noya, and Yumbe. The RDCs, the RPCs, DPCs, DSOs, GSOs should enforce adherence to SOPs. The Minister for Health should follow up the hotspot districts and review their situation for safe reopening of the weekly markets after 2 weeks. Reopening of schools. Infections in children below 18 years are often mild and they recover quickly. However, many of the 15 million learners are day scholars who, once infected, go back home and infect their parents and grandparents that may subsequently die. This was observed during the second wave. To avoid a similar scenario, the National Task Force on several occasions considered conditions for safe reopening of schools, which included vaccination of teachers, vaccination of non-teaching staff, vaccinating the 330,000 students aged 18 years and above, plus all the other priority population. In other words, the 4.8 million or 7 million to be vaccinated, so that once that one is done, then we can open the schools. I saw some people, I cannot believe why people really, I don't know whether it is. I saw some people arguing, the schools. Yeah, but the main problem, no, I even heard somebody saying, why do you keep children from going to school, and yet for them they don't get sick? Even if they are infected, they are not a culprit. They are not a culprit category. They don't die. But you are forgetting that the majority of our learners, as I said in the statement here, are day scholars. If it was body, and we vaccinate teachers and the other adult workers in the school who could open and they stay in the boarding school, knowing that the children, even if they get sick, they will somehow survive. But the problem is that the majority of the learners are day students. They study, go home. They are going to wipe out all their parents and their grandparents. So we are going to end up with the situation we had in the 1980s of children-headed homesteads. When AIDS finished all the parents, this time, at least AIDS had one good thing. It was killing only the sexually active. It would kill the parents, but the grandparents would survive. So you would find a homestead because the grandparents were not sexually active. They were retired. So you would find a home with the children and old people, old women. This time, there will be no old person. It will only be children in the home. So why do you take this risk? Why would anybody suggest that we take this risk? What are you looking for really? Are you serious? These adults are the constituents of Mafabi. You know, we have got our member of parliament. Mafabi is the chairperson of our league. The 165 and above. When we last checked, there were 3 million. But if you include the ones of 50 and above, then the number is much bigger. I don't know how many there are from 50, because the one of the Mafabi's constituency, there are 3 million, 65 and above. They are the ones who vote for Mafabi, and the other, our lady from the elders, the elderly. They are in parliament, 5 of them. They were voted for by the 65 and above. But if you add the 50 and above, it's a big number. It may come to 5 million or something like that. So the argument against opening of schools now is, now, yes, we are vaccinating the teachers, we are vaccinating the school workers, adults, but the parents at home are not yet vaccinated, and the grandparents. Are we going to kill all those people just because we cannot wait for 2 months or 3 months with the solution which is there now, solution of vaccine? Yeah. Why not vaccinate the 4.8 million, which includes all the people above 50 and the ones below 50 but who have got underlying sicknesses?